Are you ready? Can Crush Us. It don't really get no better than this. The podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom, bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Gotta shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody, power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need, and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers. Let's go.
Welcome back to another Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast, the Spotlight Edition. I am your host, Mark the Mark Martinez, and I am stoked. I'm stoked to be talking to the general manager today of Ultimate Women of Wrestling. She is also the daughter of WWFE Hall of Famer Tito Santana. Yeah, that's right, Jenni Santana coming on the show. And I'm super stoked. Just this past Saturday, Ultimate Women of Wrestling, UWW as I like to call it, in Las Vegas had their first show. Guys, if you've not seen it, go on Title Match Network, sign up, subscribe, do all that stuff. It's only $9.99 a month. Come on, do it. You can do it. And you'll be able to watch what they did this past Saturday in Las Vegas. Man, the names that they had, it was awesome. I'm not going to ruin anything. You have to go out and watch it. This show was a boom, a burner, a bomb, whatever you want to say. It brought it. I loved it. So, yeah, I'm gonna call Jenni here in a second, and then we're going to get her on the line. We're going to talk about UWW. We're going to talk about some of her training. I have maybe a little funny story about her trainer, you know, if she brings them up, or if I force her to bring her up, you know, whatever. But, yeah, a lot to talk about with the general manager of UWW, Jenni Santana. So she'll be coming right around the corner. But you know what I have to do first? I have to tell you about Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool stuff that the Hooligans and Al Snow at Collar and Elbow make. They have the sale still going on. And on top of the sale, if you use our promo code CANCRUSHERS, all one word, capital C and Can, capital C and Crushers, you'll save an additional 10% there. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Guys, you know where to find us as well. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All of it's at CanCrusher69. You want to be part of the show, you want to come on, you want to tell your story, reach out, DM us, or send us the old-fashioned emails. Isn't it amazing how emails is just like a thing of the past anymore? Not really a thing of the past, but everybody reaches you in DMs. Well, it's cancrusher69@gmail.com. Reach out to us there. We'll get you scheduled. Come on the show. We'll chat about wrestling. We'll chat about wrestling, essentially. We might throw some other sports in there as well, but yeah. And you know where you can find us. Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, all the social media platforms. We're there. Go like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. If there's a rating, please do that. It just helps us keep us in the forefront of wrestling podcasts and all that cool stuff. So, all right, here comes Al Snow to talk more about Collar and Elbow. Remember our promo code, CANCRUSHERS. Capital C and Can, capital C and Crushers, saves you 10%. And then when I come back, we'll have the general manager of UWW, Jenni Santana.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
And welcome back to Can Crushers, guys. You heard in the intro how excited I was to have Jenni Santana come on the show, GM for UWW, and involved in so much more, but we'll get there. Jenni, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So before we dive into you and get to know you a little bit more, we really have to talk about UWW that just happened this past weekend. What an amazing show. Guys, by the way, we're not going to give spoilers on this. I've told Jenni ahead of time we're not going to do spoilers about anything. Go to title match, watch it. It was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. And first off, kudos to everyone involved. But Jenni, what did you think?
I thought it was everything that we had hoped it would be. Every match was amazing from start to finish. And, you know, if possible, every match seemed to get better and better and more exciting. And so I was so pleased overall with the package as a whole. It could not have been better, especially for our first time. And so, you know, you always have kinks you have to work out, like behind the scenes and stuff, but everything seemed to go just once, you know, bell time came, everything was perfect, I think.
Yeah, the presentation on Title Match was absolutely gorgeous. Shout out, I also do some cameraman work too for indie company up around here, and shout out to the cameramen. They grabbed the action perfectly. Camera people, I'll put it like that. I'm sorry, I don't want to be anyway, but the camera workers shot everything perfect. Like, I'm like, wow, they got that awesome. So, yeah, great job. You guys blew this out of the water. Like, when did this start, essentially, UWW? Because it came fast, and you guys were just promoting so hard, and it grabbed everybody.
Yeah, well, my involvement came probably in December, so that's already been like 6 months now, and it seems like it was maybe 6 days just to get everything done. But yeah, we've started gathering. You know, you gather the card and you gather the plan of what you want to do, and then you just promote, and I mean, we have such great athletes, you know, they're gonna sell themselves. So I think it's just kind of getting organization stuff in the background together. And then, I mean, some of the girls we had, like, you know, our headliner was Ivelisse and Maserati. The co-main event was Santana Garrett and Christy James. And then we had Lady Tapa and Genocide. Like, these girls have been wrestling for, you know, many over 10 years. A lot of them have been wrestling around the United States, around the entire world. And so, I mean, when you bring in athletes like that, it can't help but be a fantastic show and event all around.
I agree. We actually had Gemma Jules on a few months ago, too, promoting this, and we kind of talked about it, and we were really excited. We were hoping, well, I was hoping the wife would let me come out to Vegas by myself for a weekend, but you know, being wedding anniversary and everything, I should have stayed home with her, and I did. So I was a much better human being for doing that, right?
Yeah, you could have brought her out. Vegas for your anniversary
well, you know,
is a good deal.
I agree. She's not a huge wrestling fan as I am, so I would have lost so much money as she was at the gambling stations. That's why we decided maybe next time. Well, there is another event coming, but we won't spoil that till the end. So just keep, if you follow UWW on socials and everything, you know. But for this podcast, we're going to hold off the teaser, right?
Yeah, and if you don't follow UWW on socials, please do so now. It's UWW Fed on Instagram, and then we also have Facebook, Ultimate Women of Wrestling. Check out the website, ultimatewomenofwrestling.com, and stay up to date from now on.
Yeah, because they blast something out every day. So when did this come about? You know, I know you guys said December, but the thoughts are way before then that a great women's wrestling federation organization needs to come out, just like Thunder Rosas or WOW. Are they competition, or are you going to kind of work with them? So there's like 3 questions in there. I'm sorry, Jenni.
No, it's okay. Okay, start the first question.
Okay, so how long was this in the works, essentially?
So my business partners probably were just, throwing the idea around and getting some options. And then I got to be pulled in as part of the team. So I wouldn't say for much longer than when I started being a part of it. But, you always have the ideas of what you can do. So, and then as a team, I think we've all been really great working together.
Yeah. Of course, on the video side, the promotion side, that was unbelievable. Again, guys, go to Title Match to watch it. The matches were flawless. They were great. So, yeah, everything for your first show, no hiccups that the public saw, at least, or I saw, essentially, because I am the whole public, apparently. No major hiccups or anything. There's always stuff backstage. I've worked in a couple indie shows, OVW, IWC, stuff like that. There's always something, but that gets backstage. We take care of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, backstage there wasn't too many hiccups. I mean, production-wise, like there was, things we want to make better for next time. But backstage with the girls, I mean, they were all good. They had a lot of preparation time to warm up and things like that, get their bodies ready. We had like a massage therapist back there to help them, before their fight or after. So like we just wanted to take really good care of them, give them enough time to get ready, both, in appearance and physically warm up. So I think it went really well. The timing of the things went really well for us.
Did you have number 2 planned prior to the end of this, or were you completely waiting to see how Saturday happened?
No, we definitely had number 2 in the works. Luckily Saturday went amazing, and I think that number 2 will just get better and have more interest, so that's always exciting to see and have that momentum build for the next one. But yeah, we definitely had the date set. So,
and in interest, you've had a ton of guests just show up. I don't know if you want them. I have some of them, but I don't know if you want them to make sure to go ahead and watch. But there's some notable people that showed up to this, and I was like, "Holy cow, that's awesome!" Because that just gives that next tick up, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have people, like high-profile people, coming to watch your show, because it just shows that if they're interested, like other people want to be interested as well, because they don't want to miss it. Like, if it's the thing that everyone's talking about, everyone wants to see it so they can have their input as well.
Right. Again, no spoilers or anything like that, or I know there's contracts and everything like that. Adding more to the roster, is that in the realm, or we gonna maybe see a card the same way? We might as well give out the date. We're long enough in at number 2. Yeah. When's the next one coming out?
The next one is going to be June 11th. So it's still going to be at the iconic Sahara, and same room, same venue. But June 11th. It's also a Saturday, and it will also start at 8 p.m. the show time.
And also on 8 p.m. Vegas time, or 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Vegas time, yeah.
Okay, so essentially, guys, over here on the East Coast, where we are in Pennsylvania, 11. So just right, yeah, yes,
yeah,
yeah. Make sure you're on Title Match. If you can't stay up that late, it'll be on Title Match the next morning, just like it was on Sunday morning, essentially. Go back to continuing to add talent to the roster. To grow more, or are we pretty steadfast what we have? You have an amazing roster right now, don't get me wrong, but is that what we're going with?
No, we are actually adding new athletes. If you follow UWW on Instagram, you'll see a few have already been announced for the second one. And we're just, we have a great group, and we're just trying to, incorporate as many top female athletes as we can that want to be a part of this. And definitely there's a lot of females who have seen this and have seen the momentum, and now, they're reaching out for them to be a part of it. So
the way, guys, to find out everything is head to the website, head to the socials. I'm not ruining anything on the podcast, so make sure you head over to the socials. like, follow, subscribe, all of that stuff, and support UWW because it's going to be awesome. It is awesome. Your plans, are you staying in Vegas, or is there plans here in the near future to spread your wings?
We're going to be staying in Vegas for the foreseeable future, but I get that question all the time, and I think we'd love to kind of take it on the road. But for right now, our home's going to be Vegas for the next, at least the next one, right?
At least the next one. At least one. But that already means that there's more to come, which is awesome. Did you guys, and this might be something you should say, shut up, Mark, I'm not telling you, but did you sign maybe like a contract with Title Match that you will be on Title Match all the time? Or was that just a one-off for the first show?
We will be on Title Match next time, yes, and probably in the future, at least like one or so more times. So.
One or so. Okay. Yeah. So now we went from maybe number 3 to so more. I'm sorry. I'm just poking the bear a little bit. So the crowd was hot. I mean, you've been around wrestling. The crowd was really into it and just like sucking every emotion into it.
The crowd was amazing. I mean, the crowd was super hyped. It was, there was such a good crowd, like just from the volume of the crowd was amazing for our first one. And then the energy of the crowd and from start to finish, like Shaw Guerrero was the announcer, like her vibe coming out and just the intensity and energy that she brought to the room, it just started to show off and just went up from there.
Yeah, and it's awesome that there's links. If people don't know who you are, if people don't know who Shaw is, if people don't, there's links to historic wrestling there. So if you're a fan that has lost his or her way and you see the name Guerrero, Santana, you link it back to, I'm 45, you link it back to your childhood. You're like, oh my God, is this? And then you get drawn into it. Was that part of, having Guerrero and yourself and everything there as well, to get maybe fans that have lost to the wayside for the WWFE or don't like AEW and so on and so forth? I
don't know if that was our plan, but
it worked.
Many
right?
people, yeah, it did work. Many people watching wrestling growing up love to see second generation wrestlers. That's been a thing since the inception of all the major organizations. There's a lot of that lineage that comes along with what you're doing, and I think that happens in any sport. And so people love seeing that. Like Shaw Guerrero is the daughter of late Eddie Guerrero. My biological father is Tito Santana. And those are two huge names that people who, if they followed wrestling at all, will 100% know who they are, So whether that excites them or they, for whatever reason, it definitely doesn't hurt, I guess.
Right. So we talked about a little bit, your biological dad is Tito Santana. How much interaction have you had with Tito? Did you reach out to use the Santana name? Is it given to you? So on, stuff like that. Briefly touch on any of that, and then we'll get back into some of your training and stuff as well.
Yeah, I recently had a conversation, about using the Santana name, and it was only a few weeks ago, and he is all for it and hopes it brings me as much success as it can. So, there was no issues with that or anything. So
good. That's awesome. Right?
Yeah.
Did you try to get him to come to the show? Say, hey, I'm doing this. Come out and pop your head in.
I didn't ask him yet. Maybe in time. I know that he's busy with signings of his own. He's still, I think there's one in a few weeks in LA. So he's still, travels a lot for work.
He's all over the place. There's WrestleCon in North Carolina. He's at WrestleCade. He's all over the place. So yeah, you see it. So how did you get into wrestling? Because you have a background not in essentially you have a background in wrestling. You're Tito Santana's daughter, essentially. But your background isn't really in wrestling. You are a medalist in martial arts, right?
Yeah, so my background's in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I won like Nogi Worlds and American Nationals this past year as brown belt, and the year before won like double gold in Nogi Worlds at purple. And so, yeah, definitely that's a huge passion for me. And but you know, it was also when you're focused on athletics and competition, like changing over to another sport usually is a little bit smoother transition than if you're coming from, you know, not having that background. So, but I've been training pro wrestling myself for a few months. I want to say like 7 months now. I don't remember, but you know, I've had a debut match with World Class Pro, and then a match, like I train at FSW, which is Future Stars of Wrestling, the school out in Vegas. Tim Bodie's my trainer. And there was a show there that's like a student show. So, I mean, that's coming along. It's coming along, I guess, me wrestling. But, you know, it's hard when you've got so many other things that you really want to, you know, it takes time to focus and be good at one thing, especially when you're pulled in a lot of different directions.
Sin Bodie's a wonderful human being. He was at a card about an hour away from us where I was a ring announcer in, what did they call it, a barnyard brawl or something. He was almost set on fire. He'll do the craziest things.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Talk to him about Chad Miller, Al Snow, and the OVW show in DuBois, Pennsylvania sometime. Just, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had some conversations in the locker room as well. He's a wonderful human being. So to be trained by him, you are getting the best for sure.
Yeah. He's amazing from like the athletics to the psychological side. It's he does the whole package when he trains you, you know, like we'll be in the ring or we'll watch tape, giving like promo advice. It's just, I mean, he is so great as a wrestler himself from start to finish, so entertaining. And, you know, there's always a method for everything that he does. And it's amazing to learn from someone who is so talented and who has been around it for so long. I mean, his trainer was Jake the Snake. And so that lineage is just amazing to be a part of as well.
Yeah, it really is. So you had one match. Are you going to stay GM in UWW? Are you going to maybe get in the ring there? Is there something going on in the works?
I'm going to stay GW. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't foresee me becoming a part of the roster, but if something happens where I need to kind of lay some law down, I guess we'll see what happens. These girls have really large personalities. They're great. That's going to be, we'll see what happens. I am definitely GM. I love the show. And, you know, this show was great and went smooth. So.
Yeah. A little bit about growing up. You know, we talked about you being in jiu-jitsu. Anything else that you can tell us? Because not originally from Las Vegas, right?
I am not originally from Las Vegas. So I am from Pennsylvania originally, and then I moved out here into Vegas in like 2004. So I feel like I've been here a very long time, but definitely from the East Coast. And I was laughing because I really, like, when I was younger in Pennsylvania, I used to watch like UFC when it first, you know, and I remember it was so hard to stay up because the card started so late. And so I literally just connected to that when you said that, because we're out here starting at 8 p.m., but it's 11 p.m. for the East Coast people. And so, yeah, I just realized that. So we're going to have to look at that in the future because that is super late.
Yeah, that's why we watch it Sunday morning. We're all right with that. We're all right with that. Besides getting too, I don't want to tell you street address or anything, but where at in Pennsylvania were you originally from?
It's Reading. It's like an hour, 15 minutes outside of Philly. So
okay. Yeah, Reading. They have. I'm a big baseball fan too. I can't remember the Reading Phillies. I think they changed them to the Fighting Phils now. Essentially, yeah. So tell me, you're an Eagles fan then, right?
Growing up, my grandfather was like diehard Eagles fan.
All right,
So
Jenny,
now we
thanks for
moved out
talking to you.
here.
No, I'm kidding.
You what?
Thanks for talking to you. Talk to you. I'm a Steelers fan, so.
But now, like, my son is a diehard Steelers fan, and so I'm like, I have no idea how that happened
because he's smart,
like,
is what he is.
I guess so. Yeah, we went to a game. And he had never been to a game, and I took him to the Ravens game, which was, and I had never been to a live football game either. So to pick that one, I don't know if you guys are Steelers fan or saw that game.
Yeah.
But like the intensity was off the roof, and it came down to like the last second. Like there could not have been a better game to take someone to who was a huge fan of that team, or like just football in general, because the energy lasted from start to finish. So. Yeah, so he's Steelers fan, trying to convince me. So definitely have way more Steelers gear at the house than any Eagles stuff. So
good. You got a good boy right there, Jenny. You got a great boy. Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan. I watch a lot of them. We try to get to 1 or 2 a year. So, do you return much to Pennsylvania?
So our interesting fact, like my whole entire family transplanted out to Las Vegas, and so
they're smart. They hate the snow. They're smart.
Yeah, and just like the lack of humidity, like it's really good. My grandmother is, still alive, thank God, and she's, in her 80s, and so just not having. It's funny because some people will say the humidity helps their bones and stuff, and some people will say it's horrible. And so, like, just if you have like arthritis and stuff like that, the dry climate is way better, and you don't have to deal with the rain or the snow. And so I only have one uncle who lives back there, so I have not been back there for a little bit. I was in New York and Pennsylvania, I think maybe 3 years ago now, but that was the last time. So
okay, that's okay. Enjoy your life out there. I'm not saying this mean enjoy your life out there.
It's so beautiful out here.
I know. My son's 16, and once he gets out of high school, I mean, we're 45. We're already looking to be empty nesters and just retire. Just head out somewhere that the snow, Jenny, is just the worst thing in the world anymore. Like, literally, we're in May. At the beginning of May, we still had snow in Pennsylvania. Just a little squall here or there. Come on, man. It's May. Stop snowing, right?
Yeah. I just talked to my uncle the other day, and he said it, I think, it probably wasn't being literal, but he said it has rained every day in 2022. So
close enough.
Definitely don't miss that.
Yeah, close enough. Besides, your involvement in UWW and in your training with Zimbodi and everything, do you get time to watch a lot of wrestling now?
The wrestling that I get to watch, like, I will watch some of it currently, but a lot of times, like, Sin will assign me matches to watch to help, my training, and they're probably older matches. We've already gone back to, like, watch some black and white matches. So, probably more older footage than current footage, but I do get to watch some of it,
Do you get to watch, does Sin make you, not make you, but does he say watch some of Tito's matches, like when he got punched in the face from Macho Man with the roll of dimes? Have you watched that? Have you watch some of Tito's matches that feel maybe like your finisher is going to be the flying forearm, or does he want to save the last name but kind of transition you into, I'm just throwing names out, you're going to be the next Charlotte Flair? Something like that.
I definitely watch a lot of Tito's matches, for numerous reasons. Like, he was an amazing wrestler. He's in the WWE
Right.
Hall of Fame. And so, he was a career babyface, and, I think he probably did it almost better than anyone out there. And so we definitely watch a ton of his matches. I have not seen the one where he gets hit in the face with a bag of dimes, but I will definitely Google that when we get off this podcast. But then, we're working on some finishers. We worked on, I did the flying forearm at the match at FSW. I definitely need to, perfect it, but, did that. And it makes more sense for my finishes to be, submission finishes, because that's just where my background is, where I'm comfortable.
Yep.
And so I don't know if it's definitely, or I don't know if he wants me to embrace, Charlotte Flair's type of wrestling more, but just kind of a good mix. He wants me to take like valuable pieces from everyone that I can learn from, but then also make them my own. So.
Right. Yeah. You have to take some of Charlotte, some of Becky, some of, back in the day, Lita, Trish, and then just make it Jenny times a million, because that's the generic answer that you get all the time. Anytime you're like, well, Jenny, who are you? Oh, me times a million. No shit. I know that. But I mean, there's got to be, if you could pick one woman, so to speak, who would you think has guided you the most then?
Gosh, that's such a hard thing. I love watching Charlotte Flair because she's so athletic. And so definitely I really enjoy watching her matches. But then like now Ronda's part of it. And, I watched her forging the way for women's MMA in UFC. And now, she did the transition to pro wrestling. So definitely that, just that whole, essence about her, where she's come like now she's a professional wrestler and she has great matches. I was lucky enough to be at WrestleMania a few weeks ago in Dallas, and so just watching them together in a match was awesome, and just to be, I mean, obviously I'm not in the WWE, but just to strive to be that top caliber type of athlete is, I think everyone who does wrestling, wants to eventually be that good or be considered on that level.
Well, that was my next question. It's like you're reading my notes. Is that an overall dream of making it to WWE? Because what you have, I'm saying it right now, what you guys have with UWW is going to be blowing, stuff out of the water. I hate to say this, and I'll say it, and you can detach yourself from it. Mission Pro is great, but you guys have blown UWW up already with just one that it might be an uptick already than Mission Pro. And I'm not saying it mean towards Thunder or the Renegade Twins or anything like that. It's just you guys promoted the hell out of this, and it's being talked about all over the place, where Mission Pro, some people don't know Mission Pro exists yet. And I'm not saying it mean, so I don't want to go on a record of, slamming them, because I love everybody I just mentioned.
Yeah, and I mean, the Renegade Twins were on our show, and they did an amazing job. They were our only tag team match. So, we're just trying to do our best. And with that, obviously it's the promoting, but it's also the card itself, Yeah. Like you can promote a card, and I'm not saying anyone's promotion. I'm just saying in general, like you can promote a crap card as much as you want, and it's still, it may not have the luster of a card that's just, stacked from top to bottom. So we were very lucky to have the roster that we had, and these girls come in from all over the U.S. And so, I don't think we could have gone wrong with the card that we built for UWW1. And clearly, like, if you've seen it or not, you need to see it if you haven't seen it. But if you've seen it, like, you can totally understand what I'm talking about. Like, every match was so well done and so athletic, and it's just added to the whole, I guess, for lack of a better word, like ambiance of what UWW is all about in this all-female promotion.
Yeah, the word I was going to say was aura, but ambiance is so much better.
Yeah, that's probably better.
No, I like ambiance better. Ambiance slips out of my brain once in a while, but yeah, you're right. It was you hand-selected, or however you guys picked them, boom, 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 and it was top to bottom. It was unbelievable. How is wrestling now, since the transition from jiu-jitsu, how has wrestling changed your life a little bit? Because you're still doing jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah, I'm still doing jiu-jitsu, yes.
But you're focused a little bit on wrestling now. How has that changed your life being, involved in UWW, going through training with Sin and all of that?
I think watching wrestling now and training myself, it provides a different perspective. And that's with anything, like people who watch UFC and they train themselves, like they just watch it from different lenses than someone who just merely watches it for entertainment. And so being the general manager, getting to sit front and center, doing commentary for the first time on this one. But, seeing these amazing matches, it's a better sense of, I was able to enjoy and appreciate their athleticism more, having been starting my own training. So I think that was probably the biggest takeaway for me.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. What else is going on in Jenni's life? Because it's not just UWW, it's just not training. You're busy else as well, right?
Yeah, we are actually opening up a regenerative medicine clinic in Las Vegas. It should be open up in the summer. We're aiming for July 1st, but that always gets some snags with renovations and things like that. So hopefully, definitely by this summer, we'll be opening up, and, we'll be focusing on stem cells and exomes and hormone replacement and IV therapy, vitamin shots, massage therapy, physical therapy. And so just a very good one-stop shop for maintaining your health. And, there's a lot of people, there's practices with my business partners who already, they're open in New Jersey and Connecticut. And we actually serve a lot of pro athletes and wrestlers like Gangrel. He was there. We just had Ricardo Ruiz, ex-UFC champion. Nick Diaz is there. And so once you have pushed your body to the limit for so many years, sometimes you need that extra help to kind of heal and take away some of the pains that you've developed over a long period of time. So we definitely are excited to do that.
So that's a great place for a garbage man to go then, too, because that is my job. Aches and pains. I probably should have been a professional wrestler, but my mom named me Mark, so that I had to stay a Mark. So these can help everybody in the world. It's amazing. First of all, I have to say this stupid thing because it's stuck in my head that you're just not a pretty face. That old saying that you're also a genius too. I mean, look what she's doing, guys.
Thank you. Definitely try. But yeah, we have in the practices in New Jersey and Connecticut, they have, athletes who are in high school who, get some things that need to be worked on. And then I was actually there and had stem cells put in my knee, and the person before me was I think 85, having stem cells in her knees as well. And so just this was for everyone. There's not one age group that the practice will help out. It's, from young teens all the way up to, very elderly people who just kind of, have something that it would be that we could help improve in any way. That's our goal. You want people to feel good about themselves and feel healthy and, perform at their best, whether it's getting in the ring or just getting out of bed on a daily basis. How many times have, you get up out of bed and you're like, oh my gosh, you'd rather be able to jump out of bed and be ready to go. Yes. So,
so how can we granted, you have a couple out there right now. Hopefully the expansion of this is going to be globally as well. But if you're in Pennsylvania, you can make the trek to New Jersey or Connecticut, right?
Yeah, not very far. They're on Instagram under Integrated Pain Management and BioRestore. We just got our BioRestore Las Vegas Instagram up and running. So definitely check out BioRestore on Instagram, and our information will be there. We have emails. We're at the ground stages in Las Vegas, but there's definitely phone numbers on there, emails on there. So for sure, reach out if you have any questions. And definitely once we open, we'd love to see everyone that we can.
Yeah, so if you feel like crap, make sure you head down. Maybe that's the trip, because we were talking earlier about not taking my wife to Vegas because she would be gambling money away as I'm at the wrestling show. Maybe I bring my wife to New Jersey so I can get stem cells and advance my health. And there's a beach in New Jersey. She'd be all right with that, right? That's a nice little trip.
Yes. Yeah. When we get off here, I will get your information and pass it on to my business partner out there. He would love to help in any way. So
nice. There you go. What else is going on? Do you personally have any matches set up? I know you're just in training yet. It's about 7 months or anything, but foreseeable future, do you make the major in-ring debut somewhere?
I did have wrestling debut in December. So I don't have anything planned right now just because, we had our first show and 3 weeks later we already have our second show for UWW. But I'm definitely training myself. I want to compete in jiu-jitsu this summer too as well. So I have a lot of training that needs to be done and preparation. But as it comes up, I'm totally open to it. I just, I like to do things right and I like to do them fully. So my attention is definitely with UWW, but we're also opening the clinic in a month. And so, if anyone starts jiu-jitsu, they're always chasing that black belt. And, my goal is to have a world title at black belt. So those are all things that need to happen. So I don't really have a time frame, but and I'd love to get in the ring and do some wrestling myself. And I think just doing that will make me better. I mean, it always makes you better doing something because then you learn from your mistakes. So I don't have anything on the books yet, but in the future, I can definitely see that happening.
Do you sleep at all? Or are you a
this
vampire?
Weekend, I did not sleep at all. Definitely did not sleep at all. If you watched it and you heard my voice on the commentary, you will think it's a different person right now because I have completely lost my voice. It's very hard for me to talk right now. But yesterday, I literally slept almost all day. I was so exhausted. I just had to catch up. So I'm usually good, but then I will definitely hit a wall and crash, and I will need to recover for a little bit of time.
Show days are long days. People don't know that. They're really long days from getting there the crack of dawn. And, you guys start at 8 o'clock out there, getting done showtime. You're done maybe 11 or whatever. But there's so much to do after the show that you're putting in a full 24-hour day sometime. And I hate to say this, the fans are there for 4 hours and that's what they see. They're like, this was a really great show. Hang around with us sometimes, right? Just hang around in the back. Come and just be a shadow and watch, pulling the cables and just setting a table up. And it all takes energy and time.
Yeah, it's the behind the scenes is what really takes the long amount of time. The show, like I said, the show started and everything was perfect. It was the before and after that is, sometimes really hectic. But that day, I think I was there, I did an interview at 9 a.m. that day, and then I didn't get home until after 4 a.m. And so then I was up again, at 9 a.m. the next day dealing with some stuff. Maybe it was even 8 a.m. That had to be taken care of. And so definitely the longest 3 or 4 days in my life.
But when you're on it, you're still on cloud 9. You don't know until you sit down that you're tired, right?
It's exactly right. I did not know until yesterday when the wall smacked me in the face and I'm like, oh, I'm going to spend a lot of time in bed today.
And it's okay.
But now, it's the next day, and now it's time to start planning for the next one already. So, not a moment to waste.
Yeah, not at all. Guys, it's going to be June 11th, back on Title Match Network. If you're not out in Las Vegas, are tickets on sale yet? For those out there?
I would imagine they will be sometime this week, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So make sure you're following all the socials. Head over to the website. If you're out there, purchase. Support UWW. It's amazing. The talent that was brought in for number one, amazing. And it's going to continue to grow as some have been spoiled already on their website. Go to it and check it out. We're not going to say them here. And, Jenni, thank you for spending some time here today talking about the amazing event, your career that's just getting started, just everything in general. I had a blast. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I definitely follow UWW on Instagram. And we want to see you guys if you're in the Las Vegas area on June 11th. Check it out.
So you're not going to tell me when number 3 is? Because that is when I can probably convince my wife to go. No, I'm kidding. Not yet. We're not spoiling anything. All right. No, don't. I don't want to get in trouble. We're good. All right, Jenni, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Guys, that was Jenni Santana, UWW General Manager. What a sweetheart. Glad she's raising her son to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. That's awesome. Pennsylvania was her hometown at one point, now living out in the laps of luxury in Las Vegas. And maybe, just maybe, because you heard that, number 2 is June 11th, but she said, and so on, or something like that, that apparently there's going to be more UWW. I have been watching the promotions and the marketing and everything they've been having. I am just as stoked as UWW to watch this every time it's on Title Match Network as I was when AEW started with everything they did. I'm telling you, I'm hooked. I love it. I love all the talent there. I love some of the talent that has been announced for number 2 already. Guys, if you're not following their socials, get out from under the rock and get on all the socials and just watch, because this is going to be something special. I just had that feeling from the first time I saw it, and seeing Jenni involved and Guerrero involved and the Renegade Twins, and we talked to Gemma Jules about it. It's just, there's a special feel. There's something going on with UWW, and I cannot wait to watch this grow. I'm super pumped. So, yeah. All right, guys, once again, if you want to be part of the show, make sure you drop us an email at cancrusher69@gmail.com. Join our socials, join UWW socials, follow Jenni, and let's all go together in New Jersey and get some of this stem cell. Man, I'd love to feel good every morning when I wake up. That would be awesome. I said it during the show. She's just not a pretty face. She is a genius, too. And she doesn't sleep, so she's a vampire, too. All right, guys. Jenni, again, thanks for coming on the show. Remember, just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called the garbage can, not a garbage cannot.